So he definitely knows he needs to grab that third base, and with EGidra at the helm, we'll probably see a fourth and fifth base up and running within 2 or 3 more minutes. We'll see if that actually happens, though. Sometimes he'll grab the gold, sometimes he won't. So we'll see what happens. Still producing a few units up, the ones that are necessary for defense, but again, he has the Xel'Naga Watchtower, allowing him to see the enemies coming, so he can drone up until he sees a push, and when that push comes, he can quickly turn all of his larvae into the necessary units. We have a bunch of Zerglings swinging around the map, making sure there is no other hidden expansions, knowing that there's not going to be. He's going to go looking for the back door, but ROOTMinigun, one step ahead, has it walled off. So let's see if, yes, he does only send one Zergling, not to give his hand away, and is going to go for that pylon just to do some harassment here. He's going to pull these guys over and just quickly kill that off. But the Zergling is going to get away. I like this right here because it gives him vision behind the bushes here and walls it off nicely, so he can't have a backdoor attack. Oh, excuse me, hiccup. And yeah, here we are. We have some sort of... Ooh, he's actually got a nice wall off here. Really forcing him around in the probe line, though. And we do have Immortals on the way, as well as, if we take a look at the production, Robo Bay on the way as well. So we'll probably see some Colossus on the field sometime in the near future. And that's actually really smart, especially with the kind of build he's got Roaches and Zerglings that will quickly clean it up. And especially with those Immortals that will take out the Roaches very, very quickly, as they are armored, and Immortals destroy armored so very easily. And I like it. I'm not sure why he's keeping his Zerglings up here. Probably to keep tabs on this third base and whatnot, but if he catches his army at a place like this and he decides to do a big push, that could be problematic, as he does have a lot of his troops here, though he's pulling his Zerglings back because he did have to kill one of the Zerglings to take the Xel'Naga Watchtower, but it could be a feint attack just to force him to produce more units. Though he's only producing a few more Roaches. He does Roach speed and level 1 weapons on the way for his Roaches, so with the level 1 upgrades and a bunch more Zerglings again on the way, but that's going to be something those Colossus, when they are out, are going to quickly take out. And I like how the Overseer is stalking this Observer here, but that is quickly going to go down to supply block EGidra for a little bit, but his Overlord is quickly almost finished, and he has to start an extra one because of that now. One of the Colossus joining this mini little death ball here, and looking like taking down the gold, perhaps to grab a gold expansion. We're going to see him grab a third base as well. This gold, it looks like he was focusing down for a little bit, but decided against it. He is going to move a small contingent up here, but quickly going to be met with a hell of an army, and these force fields are going to be placed so nicely to make sure these Roaches barely get any damage done, and he's going to be able to wipe up most of these force fields everywhere. So good, not allowing his Roaches to get anywhere near. That is amazing force field placement, really wardening off EGidra. Granted, he kind of put himself in a bit of a pickle there, just by kind of force fielding himself in, but that was so well placed. Those Stalkers and that Colossus and the Immortal able to just do damage and forcing EGidra to retreat while he's able to grab this and drop a few pylons and cannons for the necessary defense. So he is going for the gold, which is going to pay off dividends if he can hold it. EGidra, you will be damned if EGidra will let him grab a gold without responding in kind with some sort of aggression and gold grabbing himself. So many Roaches, though. With this kind of unit composition, I would expect to see something along the lines of like Roach, Hydra. We do have a Spire going down. Since he does have the Colossus out, to see expect to see Corruptors hit the field soon. Because that Colossus is going to cause him so many problems. And we have 2 Colossus in that, with another one on the way. If we take a look at the unit station, he is so far ahead of EGidra as far as workers count. 77 to 64 is what that says. So that is that is a hell of a lot. He is going to do some sort of backdoor attack here. Maybe force his army to pull back. Yes, he did, but he is going to probably met with some sort of aggression here. And I'm going to take a sip of my iced tea so you can watch this. Much better. Much better. And it looks like we do have some sort of troop movement going on. So many Roaches still on that Spire is almost done, but we do have Hydras joining the fray now. He has 4 Hydras on the way, and he is grabbing his 5th base right here. And he has grabbed this, emptied this gold. But the reason he isn't actually taking it for his own is because this army is pushing in and out and forcing EGidra to stay on the skirts of his creep to do defending. And if he decided to grab this, chances are he would lose it very, very quickly because that army is so well built. If we look at the upgrades right now, it is 1-1 versus 0-1 versus 1-1 here. So Root has that extra armor that is going to help him. He is going to force these Roaches out. They're constantly poking in and doing some harassment. Taking out these pylons, really kind of making Root waste his money, so he's continuing those harassment. It looks like these Roaches are not going to go anywhere, though, and I think he knew that as he saw that army, so he's going to quickly sack them against these guys and try to focus down, as you can see. as many of the stalkers as he can and do as much damage as he can. Looks like he got 2 of them, but not really worth it with the amount of roaches he lost, but he knew they were lost one way or another. We have Corruptors joining the field now because those Colossus are on the field, and they are going to do another push with 3 Colossus, a bunch of Stalkers, and Sentries. Like that these Corruptors are going to be sitting here in this hole right here, not going to be able to really get at them too much. So smart move by EGidra, but this ball is looking scarier and scarier by the minute, and as I said in a few of my casts right here, as he's grabbing his fourth, Protoss, when they're allowed to macro up, can be just as scary as the Zerg, if not more terrifying. They are just so powerful. With that Death Ball and with the mask upgrades, if he gets them, which he is right now, are just so nasty to deal with. And if he can continue with those excellent force field placements, this army is going to be nigh impenetrable to the Roaches and the Hydras because they are ranged, and he's keeping them at distance where the Stalkers could still reach them. If we look at the distance here, the range of a Roach is 4, while the range of these guys is 6, so they can easily outrange of these Roaches here. And here we go, he's going to be going for a push, going for the Stalkers. Are we going to see some force field placement? Guardian Shield dropping down with a bunch of force fields, locking away most of those Roaches and allowing him to clean this up so quickly with the Colossus and the Stalkers, forcing EGidra to pull back. He still looks like he's fighting against the force field, not really microing very well, losing units to that. Now finally pulling the back, but after some damage is already done, losing a lot of his Roaches and Roaches primarily up here, and now after taking out the Colossus, losing all but 1 Corruptor. So ROOTMinigun definitely coming out on top on that aggression. EGidra knowing he has to pull back again and restock up. He's grabbing a bunch of Zerglings now as his gas is very, very low, putting a lot into Hydras and Corruptors. Needs to make sure he empties his minerals on something, so he's going to be grabbing a bajillion and actually more like a bajillion and 1 Zerglings, and here they all come scooting on up, and here come the Hydralisks. They are now 0-2 upgrades. As we are looking over here, they are now 1-2 upgrades for the Stalkers, and his armor is almost done, so soon the upgrade's already in ROOTMinigun's favor, and he's going to push again here, trying to really do damage, but the force fields are all over the place and are so well placed that it's forcing him. The only things that can really hit are the Hydralisks, and only a few of them, and they're not getting anything good outside of a few Sentries and a few Stalkers, while the Stalkers are quickly cleaning up with those Colossus, forcing EGidra to pull back again, and he has so many Sentries that he can quickly replace those force fields once they are put down. So Root doing a little bit of defending, but the longer he holds on to this gold expansion, the better and more powerful he's going to be. And he's matched bases with him. It's a 4 base versus 4 base, but one of those bases is gold. And here we go again, more force fields choking all of those Roaches, and the Hydras are kind of forcing the finishing up this hole because they can't move forward. They already were just attacking, so he's not microing as well. Most of his army is just being wiped up by Stalkers and Colossus. This is not looking good for EGidra. I don't know how much longer he can hold on. He's throwing the rest of his army at him. He is fighting, and EGidra leaves the game. Wow, no GG at all. As is EGidra. EGidra is not a well-mannered player, as you are aware. So, ouch, EGidra loses that one pretty decisively. ROOTMinigun able to macro up and finish that off. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We will be going to game 2 after this, so make sure you check that out as well, and I'll see you then.